Happy Sunday into happy Monday, everyone. We have a very powerfully transformative week ahead. I'm going to put it to the positive top side. There's the power is right in the center of it. Before we get to our forecasting for today, and yes, I'm a couple days late because all hands on deck for Lucy. The good news is that Lucy had her adoption day on Friday. It was a huge event for all of us involved. Me, Lucy, the Forever Home family, the adoptive family. Thank you, Mara. Thank you, Andy. Super excited to place Lucy in her forever home in Seattle. So Mara and Andy and their daughter Bridget came over the mountains on a very blustery Friday to meet up with me and Lucy. And I tell you what, it was one of those moments of just seeing this dog bond immediately with this family and this family bond immediately with this dog. It was seamless. And even though Lucy did look at me like, what am I doing? And I've been talking to her for 2 days about, hey, you're going to your forever home up in Seattle. You're going to be a Seattle doggy. It's going to be really good. Even though she looked at me like, what are we doing? She just pretty much didn't look back and just was totally on board with this family. Now, the really cool thing is about 48 hours prior to the adoption, Lucy started coming into her own with her energy. I mean, this dog was getting her, her full square meals with the walks with me and Peanut and really stabilizing. And she came into her full energy. And then come to find out, I knew Andy and Bridget run, but I had no idea that they run. And so first day out of the gate, Andy took Lucy for her first run. And this was with so little training. This dog did not know what a leash was 10 days ago. She was like, what's a leash? What's a leash? We did the lunge line training with her. So Andy took her out for her first run. This would be yesterday, 7 miles. Did 7 miles with Lucy. She didn't even bat an eye. She just did it straight out and then was like, Mark? Mark? So she's with the right family. And there's an incredible dog park there. And here's the other thing. Mara has hired a dog training specifically for custom training with Lucy. And this dog is going to need it because she's super smart and she has a lot of energy. Super cool dog. So I couldn't be more pleased, more heartened. Yes, I'm very sad that Lucy's no longer here. She took a part of her heart with me. I guess I'm learning that's part of fostering. But deep down inside of me, I'm like, oh my God, we scooped this girl out of the hop fields of Moxie, Washington, where she just would have run around until she's probably started attacking livestock because you get too hungry and then get shot by a farmer. That was her destiny here. We scooped her up out of the fields, and now she has this complete life that she's going to have in Seattle with a very loving family and the attention of 4 people. So, and I'm sure more than that. I'm sure there's going to be community around Lucy as well. So thank you, everyone who donated. Thank you, everyone who was on board with me. This was a community effort. We did it. I can't do this for all of the animals here, but we did this for a very special one doggy. She is going to have a good life. So thank you, Mara. Thank you, Andy. Thank you for trusting the process. And I can't wait to hear more about how she is doing. Second announcement. Group. We are sticking with group this week, even though it's going to be stormy astrological weather. Mark your calendar for Thursday, March the 27th at 5 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Check your time zone. I will get the YouTube link up so you will have that, and I will also have a page so you can click through and see that. I don't have it yet. Do not go looking for it. I'm just giving you the date and the time. And what are we going to be doing? We are going to be doing live readings. We started doing live readings on the last Zoom before I did all the coaching with the top 7 basic elements. This time it's going to be full on just straight reading. And I highly suggest that if you're coming into this and you're kind of sort of new at everything with your awakening, you need to pick up the new 4 a.m.er awakening kit, because that's got a lot of the basics. And the people who were early that did the readings with me, they will tell you that I'm pretty much a no bullshitter reader. Little bit of tough love, because we are upping our spiritual game. There's been a lot of mediocrity going on, and I am of the mind that if we up our spiritual game, your lives will get better. And that's my MO. That's my MO here. So those are the announcements for today. Let's go ahead and get into the forecasting. It is a big week. It is a super big week. So let me flip the camera around here. Here's Sunday. I'm recording on Sunday, March the 23rd. We're scanning back through the calendar. This was 2 weeks ago. This was this past week, and this is the week we're headed into. All right. Now, Spirit Team wants me to go ahead and begin with cards, just so you guys can get a flavor of the week here. And just real quick for the new folks, I am pulling from the card deck that I created myself. This is the Somatic Money Oracle deck system. It's your interpersonal, body-based money relationship Oracle deck. It's basically my entire system that I've got going on. This is the most up-to-date deck. This is the first edition deck that's got a few kerfluffles in it, and I've got it available for, I believe, $59. And you can go to my website and read up on these decks and learn a little bit more about them and learn how they came into existence. Kind of an interesting story. So the card pulls, as far as body-based money relationship, your heads up this week. Oh my God, the first card that I pulled was resilient financial boundaries. I don't know if you're noticing it. I'm noticing it. We've got things coming in from nowhere and then going out of nowhere, and there's a bunch of money stuff attached to it. And we're really getting pulled at our financial strings right now. And so especially coming in this week, whatever you can do with having resilient financial boundaries and really just paying attention to your spending, and really check, double checking on that, and maybe even putting off spending if you can. Remember, we're in a Mercury retrograde, not a great time to make financial commitments. But this week especially, I can just feel like, oh my God, our money is going to be a sieve. So really heads up on your financial boundaries. The other thing that's going to be happening this week, you're going to be of the mind of the whole duality with money, the whole should I, shouldn't I, good, bad, up, down, very pendulum, severe pendulum type thinking, like, extremes of one end or the other. And so what you're going to want to do to help create those resilient financial boundaries and not get into the duality conundrum, you're going to want to slow down with your money, slow your roll, slow it a lot. And when you slow down with your money, that's where you can do your check, double check on your resilient financial boundaries, and really notice if you can alchemize getting to that integrated center with your money instead of swinging from the whole should I, shouldn't I. Really get grounded in your center, and you're going to do that by slowing down with your money. The other indicator Spirit Team gave to me today, and I really woke up with it this morning, our way to get through this week is to really create a strong connection with the vibration of love. This week, more than any other week, is just, if you want to get through this week and do really well with this week, because I think we can tap into some really great things this week, it's coming into your center, doing your grounding, breathing, centering, coming into your center, and really be in that vibrational frequency of love. Now, I'm not talking about toxic positivity, and I'm not talking about forcing it. I'm talking about when you can get into the process and get to that vibrational love energy, that is going to really help you out this week. So those are the highlights on the cards. And let's go ahead and get to this week. Now, remember, we're in eclipse season, and we're coming off some, this past week really felt like it felt like deep-seated chessboard astrological moves of things really appearing out of nowhere and then disappearing into nowhere. We got a lot of that going on. Now, there's going to be more of that coming into this week, But there's a big change up this week. So here's the week that we're looking at. And there is so much going on this week. There is so much astrological traffic. It is hard to even know what to focus on. And so I want to give us some anchor points, some focal points, so that you can kind of see where the big hitting energy is coming in. And for that, I'm actually going to start at the end of the week. We're gonna start at Neptune moving into Aries. Hello. How did we lose track of this one? I mean, Pluto moving into Aquarius got a huge amount of attention. I believe this Neptune move into Aries, which hasn't, the last time Neptune was in Aries was in 1861. I checked it. Take a look at this. The last time Neptune was in Aries, it was April 13th, 1861, and that was the day after the American Civil War began. Hello? And we've just had this Pluto move into Aquarius, and the last time Pluto was in Aquarius was 1778 to 1798, American Revolution, French Revolution, Industrial Age. We've just had Pluto move into Aquarius in November of 2024. So I don't even have words for this. We really need to pay attention to this Neptune into Aries. And what is Neptune into Aries? It's about spirituality with verve. It's your intuition on steroids. It's the psychic amplitude turned up. This is a time that signals a period of spiritual action and intuitive boldness, encouraging individuals to align their strong drive with higher ideals and step into their power of purpose. And this is both for the collective and the individual. So can you imagine all of this with the collective connected into Pluto and Aquarius with the humanitarian effort there and the whole death rebirth process? I mean, you put these two together, we've just put everything on overdrive at a whole other level, which is kind of exciting. So what I will tell you is, like, if you are just coming into your spirituality, this is going to put even more amplitude on it. And since we are now moving Neptune out of Pisces, and we've been doing this really, really deep dive of the intuitive, both with Neptune in the Pisces water, we've done that for the last 18 years. So if you've been doing that, we're like the people who are spiritual. This is our opportunity to go to a whole new level. And this is all going to call all of us, look at this, to align with our strong drive, with our higher ideals. Like, this is more soul alignment. This is asking us to be more and more in our soul alignment than we ever have before. Big deal. Very, very, very big deal. And I want to point out, there's been a lot of occult energy coming up over the last 10 days. And I think it's Neptune wrapping up in Pisces before it moves into Aries, and that Ouija board thing that has been all over the social media news. I think this is a nod to how the Ouija board was a huge breakthrough, a huge psychic breakthrough in 1890. Like, that Ouija board was, it was very modern for its time. It was a huge spiritual breakthrough. And look at the staying power that it's had for so long. And even though I don't agree with the energy of it, I really don't like the energy of it, look what that spiritual piece has opened up and done, over the last 130 years, people. So if you can imagine a Ouija board coming on the scene in 1890, imagine what we're going to be spiritually able to do in modern times. What is going to come out of the woodwork from here on out? This is incredible, incredible news right here. And that's Friday. That's just Friday. Okay? Now, the other big piece that I want to point out before we dive into the whole huge conjunct thing going on this week, I want to point out Chiron squaring up with Mars, and the peak of that is happening on Wednesday. This is going to be your wounded healer, the intimate, vulnerable dynamics within the interior of your relationships, because Mars is in Cancer. Cancer is all about home, and Chiron is all about healing up those wounds. So this is all relationship on tap right here. And given that Mercury is retrograding out of Aries into Pisces, you're bringing in communication issues that are also in review with this. So this is another powerful movement that's happening at the same time that Neptune is moving into Aries. Let's go into high traffic season here. So high traffic is, it lands right, let me see if I can find it. It lands right about here. Venus retrograding, leaving Aries, moving into Pisces, while Mercury is also retrograding, leaving Aries, moving into Pisces. What conjuncting up, they're all conjuncting up with Neptune, which is leaving Pisces, moving into Aries. So two planets are conjuncting, crossing over in an opposite direction than a primary planet here, doing a sign change, a big sign change, okay, right ahead of a partial solar eclipse. And I will also say that the new moon is being audacious and doing a conjunct right through this thing of the eclipse as well as the conjuncts as well. So high traffic, lot of energy, lot of movement, lot of power. I think the thing I would say is like, this is a come to Jesus meeting on steroids with your transformation, with your relationships, with the old stuff you're letting go of, and with the new stuff you're moving into as you're healing relationship wounds, as you're moving into new soul level, and it's all doing it on steroids. It's all doing it on steroids. And I think probably the best picture or image I could give to you, I asked Spirit Team, I was like, oh my God, there is so much going on this week. It could be so confusing for people. What's the singular image I could give to them? And the image they gave to me was the picture of a lotus turning inside out on itself. So that's transformation. They showed me that picture, and then they said, do not drive forward this week. Do not be agenda driven. Do not be in your masculine boom, 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 boom. I got to get things done. Do not do that, because you will be like a helicopter flying into getting your wings clipped, and you will just, you don't want to do that. This is a great week to what? Stay in the center of your loving money home in your core while you are slowing down, and don't get caught swinging in duality. Really integrate into your center. I think another way to say it is this is a great week to let things come to you. Do not push hard to seek them out. Let things come to you. Let the magnetics of this week work. So we've talked about the conjuncts of Venus retrograding with a Mercury retrograde, conjuncting with a Neptune, like all of that. Well, that's not the end of the story. Okay, because if you've noticed, we've been on this slow burn with Lilith in conjunct with Neptune. And since Lilith is in conjunct with Neptune, who else is going to get caught up in that in conjunct with Lilith? Venus and Mercury. And this is where it could get incredibly confusing, because we've got all these sign changes going on, but then you've got Lilith in conjunct Venus moving Aries into Pisces, okay? And then you've got Lilith in conjunct Mercury moving Aries into Pisces. And then you've also got Lilith in conjunct Neptune moving Pisces into Aries. So there's literally 6 different mechanisms of signs and planets going on here. And let me show you what this looks like on my crib sheet. So just to keep your eye on the prize, the majority of this is A, about relationships in review, and B, about your own personal transformation in review. And you've got the anchor point of the wounded healer in Aries squaring up with Mars in Cancer. And so you've already got some really powerful, intimate, vulnerable integration issues going on with relationships on the home front. But then, oh no, we're not going to stop there. Then we start throwing these in conjuncts with Lilith into the mix, with Neptune, Venus, and Mercury coming and going from Pisces and Aries. If the rest of the week wasn't enough, this right here just throws the whole thing into overdrive. This is literally, if you are running on an agenda and you have to get things done, this is literally like your helicopter losing its choppers and going down. Like, and I don't want to say that from a negative sense. I want to say that from a dynamic sense of like, watch how you do things this week. Emphasis on how. Watch how you do things this week. You do not want to drive forward with a linear agenda. You want to remain in your center, in your core, with love energy as much as you can without forcing it, and allow things to be attracted in, much like the lotus, and create from there. Like let it come to you. And then whatever does come to you, manage that, heal that, work with that. I wouldn't be driving forward this week with huge force or power, even though you're going to feel it. There's going to be a lot of power energy in the air. And then as far as from a meaning perspective, the other thing that I wanted to bring up is that since we are doing that eclipse, I mean, this is like letting go of old, letting new come in. Remember the reset button? So you want to keep an eye on the prize with that. A lot of transformative energy then with the Saturn in Pisces sextile Uranus and Taurus, and the transformation energy as well with that partial solar eclipse and the new moon. Coming back to look at this week, I don't think there is any one particular focal point here, because there's just so much traffic going on, and the anchor points are going to be that Neptune movement into Aries, the eclipse, and then like 4 or 5 days of confusion of those conjuncts going on between that Pisces-Aries line, with that underlying toe going on of the Chiron square Mars. Remember a couple forecasts ago, I was like, March I really didn't want to look at. This was the week I really did not want to look at, because there's so much going on and it's so confusing. But if you can keep your head screwed on right, you can be in that place of moving from collateral damage to being more in collateral beauty, and being on the top side of what seems like this could be transformational brutality this week. Like, that's the powerful energy in it. And so the other tip I can give for you is ask Spirit Team to place you into your best destiny to land on the top side of this thing. That's where you want to keep your brain. That's where you want to keep your self-coaching, that no matter what happens in the tumult of all of this, that you land on your top side in your best destiny. And whatever happens with that transformational brutality, you land more in the collateral beauty of it, and you take from this the transformational amazement of this into the betterment of your life. That is the mindset that I would have coming into this week. And yes, we've got an energy gateway here, and we've got 2 timeline jump days. I would say they're more in drive and in sync with the overall astrology. The astrology takes the day on this week, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on timeline jumping or energy gateways. If you want to buff up on that, I will send the banners through on the different programs where you can learn a little bit more about on this. The one thing I will tell you is this week, it was predicted that we were only in the upper scripting levels of the 4th and 5th scripting level timelines, from what I can tell. For about 24 to 36 hours, we dove down to a number 2 timeline. So we actually took this and we powered down into like really anchoring some good energy into the new earth. So I will tell you that. I don't know if we're going to be up for that this week, because so much astrology is going on. We will see. The other thing I want to point out, we're beginning to get an uptick on the Schumans. We had 3 pretty good upticks this past week. Solar, the sun is beginning to get a little bit more active. So while this is going on, you want to be paying attention to the solar activity and Schumans, just in case that gives us that upper level bump as well. Okay, so that's what I've got for you this week. Like, if we can survive this thing, we're going to be doing some incredible stuff. I got to tell you, on the back end of this forecast, I got to tell you, I am feeling so good. I am feeling so good about things. I mean, the world looks awful. It looks like a mess. It looks like crazy terrible. And yet I am getting up in the mornings going like, oh my God, this is incredible. There's amazing stuff going on. My body is happy. This is good. So paint me crazy. That's fine. But the psychic readings, the collective psychic readings that I'm going to bring to you later on in the week, I do have more good news. And I I don't know how this is all going to happen, but my body is telling me we're going to be good. We're going to make it. It's going to be bumpy for a while, but damn, we are doing it, folks. And this coming week this is going to blow the lid off this shit in ways that we can't imagine. And I think it's going to be really good. I mean, when you look at Pluto and Aquarius and then Neptune and Aries, that's an incredible transformative inferno. And it's kind of like, if you're not on that ride, you're probably not going to make it, which says a lot for what we're dealing with at the national level. Like, it goes back to what I've been saying. They don't have the chops. They don't have the footing in the new energy to be able to make it. And especially with Neptune moving into Aries, like, I just see more falling apart happening at that level. So that's what I've got for you for now. Stay tuned. I've got more good stuff this week. And just remember, Thursday night of this week, 5 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Check your time zone. I will have pages and links up soon in the next couple of days. We're going to get together and we're going to have some fun doing some psychic readings, laughing, crying, swearing, doing all the good spiritual stuff to keep us all going. So mwah. Make it a good week out there. Stay on the top side, and I will see you in my next video.